Letter 152 by Charles Lamb. Mr. W.C. Hazlitt dates, June 2, 1806. My dear Sarah, you say truly that I have sent you too many make-believe letters. I do not mean to serve you so again if I can help it. I have been very ill for some days past with the toothache. Yesterday I had it drawn, and I feel myself greatly relieved, but far from easy, for my head and my jaws still ache, and being unable to do any business, I would wish to write you a long letter to atone for my former offenses, but I feel so languid that I am afraid wishing is all I can do. I am sorry you are so worried with business, and I am still more sorry for your sprained ankle. You ought not to walk upon it. What is the matter between you and your good-natured maid you used to boast of, and what the devil is the matter with your aunt? You say she is discontented. You must bear with them as well as you can, for doubtless it is your poor mother's teasing that puts you all out of sorts. I pity you from my heart. We cannot come to see you this summer, nor do I think it advisable to come and incommode you, when you for the same expense could come to us. Whenever you feel yourself disposed to run away from your troubles, come up to us again. I wish it was not such a long, expensive journey, then you could run backwards and forwards every month or two. I am very sorry you still hear nothing from Mr. White. I am afraid that is all at an end. What do you intend to do about Mr. Turner? I believe Mr. Rickman is well again, but I have not been able to get out lately to inquire because of my toothache. Louisa Martin is quite well again. William Hazlitt, the brother of him you know, is in town. I believe you have heard us say we like him. He came in good time, for the loss of Manning made Charles very dull, and he likes Hazlitt better than anybody except Manning. My toothache has moped Charles to death. You know how he hates to see people ill. Mrs. Reynolds has been this month past at Dipford, so that I never know when Monday comes. I am glad you have got your mother's pension. My tales are to be published in separate storybooks. I mean, in single stories, like the children's little shilling books. I cannot send you them in manuscript, because they are all in the Godwins' hands, but one will be published very soon, and then you shall have it all in print. I go on very well, and have no doubt, but I shall always be able to hit upon some such kind of job to keep going on. I think I shall get £50 a year at the lowest calculation, but as I have not yet seen any money of my own earning, for we do not expect to be paid till Christmas, I do not feel the good fortune that has so unexpectedly befallen me half so much as I ought to do. But another year, no doubt, I shall perceive it. When I write again, you will hear tidings of the farce, for Charles is to go in a few days to the manager's to inquire about it. But that must now be a next year's business too, even if it does succeed. So it's all looking forward and no prospect of present gain. But that's better than no hopes at all, either for present or future times. Charles has written Macbeth, Othello, King Lear, and has begun Hamlet. You would like to see us, as we often sit, writing on one table, but not on one cushion sitting, like Hermia and Helena in the Midsummer's Night's Dream. Or rather like an old literary Darby and Joan, I taking snuff, and he groaning all the while and saying he can make nothing of it, which he always says till he has finished, and then he finds out he has made something of it. If I tell you that you Widow Blacker cries, you must tell me I tay lisse, for my tales seem to be all the subject matter I write about, and when you see them, you will think them poor little baby stories to make such a talk about. But I have no news to send, nor nothing, in short, to say that is worth paying 2 pence for. I wish I could get francs, then I should not care how short or stupidly I wrote. Charles smokes still, and will smoke to the end of the chapter. Martin Burney has just been here. My tales again, and Charles's farce has made the boy mad to turn author, and he has written a farce, and he has made the Winter's Tale into a story. But what Charles says of himself is really true of Martin, for he can make nothing at all of it, and I have been talking very eloquently this morning to convince him that nobody can write farces and see under 30 years of age, and so I suppose he will go home and new model his farce. What is Mr. Turner, and what is likely to come of him, and how do you like him, and what do you intend to do about it? I almost wish you to remain single till your mother dies, and then come and live with us, and we would either get you a husband or teach you how to live comfortably without. I think I should like to have you always to the end of our lives living with us, and I do not know any reason why that should not be, except for the great fancy you seem to have for marrying, which after all is but a hazardous kind of an affair. But however, do as you like. Every man knows best what pleases himself best. I have known many single men I should have liked in my life if it had suited them for a husband, but very few husbands have I ever wished was mine, which is rather against the state in general, but one never is disposed to envy wives their good husbands. So much for marrying, but however, get married if you can. I say we shall not come and see you, and I feel sure we shall not, but if some sudden freak was to come into our wayward heads, could you at all manage? Your mother we should not mind, but I think still it would be so vastly inconvenient. I am certain we shall not come, and yet you may tell me, when you write, if it would be horribly inconvenient if we did, and do not tell me any lies, but say truly whether you would rather we did or not. God bless you, my dearest Sarah. I wish, for your sake, I could have written a very amusing letter, but do not scold, for my head aches sadly. Don't mind my headache, for before you get this it will be well, being only from the pains of my jaws and teeth. Farewell. Yours affectionately, M. Lamb. This letter contains the first mention to Sarah Stoddart of William Hazlitt, who was shortly to put an end to the claims both of Mr. White and Mr. Turner. The tales from Shakespeare, although mainly Mary Lamb's book, did not bear her name for many years, not until after her brother's death. Her connection with it was, however, made public in more than one literary yearbook of her day. Originally they were to be unsigned, but Godwin cheated Lamb into putting a name to them, see letter of Jan. 29, 1807. The single stories, which Mrs. Godwin issued at 6d each, are now excessively rare. The ordinary first edition in 2 volumes is a valuable possession, much desired by collectors.